Saw 3. Now, if you watch my unboxing, I said that this film sucked. I saw it 3 years ago. But after rewatching it last night, I think I have a change of heart on this film. So, the story takes place. You have John Kramer. He abducts a doctor from a hospital because John Kramer is suffering from an inoperable brain tumor, and the doctor that he kidnapped helped him with his case. And you have Amanda. She puts like a bomb collar around her, and the doctor has to keep Kramer alive, or else the bomb will go off. And then you have a man that was also kidnapped. His name is Jeff, and Jeff has to pass through a bunch of obstacles. And if he survives all of them, then the collar around the doctor, I think her name is Lynn, the collar will come off and she'll be able to be set free. However, the challenges that Jeff faces are extremely difficult. Jeff is a father whose son was killed by a DUI a drunk driver that was under the influence of alcohol. And he has to go through 3 obstacles that consist of 3 people that were involved in his case. So the first person is a witness. The witness saw the kid get hit by the car, and she did nothing about it. So she's tied up into a room. It's freezing cold. Water's pouring on her. There's a key and a bunch of frozen pipes. And for Jeff to free her, he has to grab the keys, unlock the device, and she's free to go. However, Jeff is too late, and the woman freezes to death. So the witness is dead. Jeff didn't really do anything about it. But he grabs the key finally and escapes. So his second obstacle is by going into some type of pig trap. And he sees a judge that gave the drunk driver 6 months in jail, a light sentence. So he's chained to a floor, and a bunch of pigs are falling onto him. And the only way that Jeff can free the judge is by burning his son's possessions and grab a key and free the judge. So Jeff, he's hesitant. And while the judge is drowning in pig slop, Jeff finally burns his son's possessions and he rescues the judge. So he goes to his third obstacle, and that's where he meets the person that's responsible for killing his son. His name is Timothy Young. He's strapped to some type of twister machine that's going to twist his ligaments around in his neck, So Jeff, he has to go find the key, and the key is tied to a shotgun. So if he grabs the key, there's a chance that the shotgun could go off and probably kill him. So he's very hesitant. But by the time he grabs the key, it's too late. Timothy Young is dead. Because the machine, it continues to twist his body and contort it around. So, yeah, he's dead. But he finally grabs the key, and the shotgun goes off. But it doesn't hit Jeff. Instead, it hits the judge. So now the witness is dead. The judge is dead. Now the suspect is dead. So Jeff, he goes into a room where he confronts John Kramer. But before he does that, Amanda grabs a gun and kills Lynn because Lynn and Kramer are having some type of affection towards one another. So he sees Lynn get shot, and John Kramer says to Amanda, "You just killed Jeff's wife." So the doctor was Jeff's wife that was shot and killed. Well, she wasn't dead yet, but she was shot. So Jeff grabs a gun, he shoots Amanda, and then he grabs a chainsaw and slits John Kramer's throat so John Kramer is dead. But what Jeff doesn't realize is that there was a collar around Lynn's neck, and that collar is a dead man's bomb, which means that is reliant on the heart rate of Kramer. So if the heart rate is no longer there, then the bomb will go off. So since Kramer's dead, the bomb went off. So Lynn's face exploded. I guess Jeff probably died as well. That's the story. As far as my thoughts on the movie goes, it was good. Better than the first one, no. Better than the second one, no. But I like this movie for the second time watching it. This movie, it's all about the choices that you make. Can you, instead of trying to save yourself, can you save other people? And the choices that you make will affect other people's lives. So Jeff was also being tested here. Jeff was being tested here. On this movie, it's not as gory and violent as the other movies. Although it does have its fair share of gore and traps, I think the traps are a lot more extreme in this one than the others. But like I said, you'll find your fair share of traps and gore and stuff in this film. Do I have any issues? Yes. First, this movie had some technical difficulties, so I had to catch this movie on a free stream. Two, there's no real backstory. They never tell you who Jeff's wife is, until the end of the film. I thought Lynn's husband was the guy she was laying in bed with. Apparently, that was her boyfriend. She was probably an affair or something like that. They never told you what happened to Jeff's son. You never see him get hit by a car. So they kind of tell you all that stuff at the end. And while sometimes, yes, surprising people with all that stuff at the end works, in this case, I felt like I should have needed that backstory to really care about the characters in the film. I get the film in the movie is called Jigsaw. Jigsaw's a puzzle, and they want the viewers to put the puzzle pieces together. Well, the first two films, alright. But this one, no. My other issue is Jeff. Usually in the other movies, we're supposed to root for the victims here. But Jeff, man, I don't know how I can root for him. Now, this isn't really a personal issue. This is an issue that I saw another YouTuber make. His name was Dead Meat. You should probably check him out, but yeah. Jeff is too slow. At some points in the film, I was like, come on, Jeff, just grab the key, save the hostage. Then he waits too long, and then the two hostages die, and then the judge has to sacrifice himself. So I don't know how I should root for him when all the people he comes in contact with is dead. He's kind of an idiot there. Some people's issues that the film is too formulaic and it kind of strays away from the first couple of films. And this film is basically about traps and death and stuff like that. I can see some of their issues. It's not really that much of an issue for me. They did give an explanation on why they did stray away from the first two films. Not only was Jeff being tested here, but so was Amanda. Her test was, can she keep someone alive? Can she follow the rules? In the other movies, they would tell you every detail about who the victim is, who are the other players involved, how can they escape. But in this film, that was non-existent. They didn't tell Jeff a single thing that was going on, or did they give any other test subjects, a way out. In the beginning of the movie, there's a guy who's trapped in a bunch of chains, a bomb right next to him, and then there's a door welded shut. In the Jigsaw game, Kramer's rules are that he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't. The test subjects kill themselves. But he gives them every opportunity to escape. But in this movie, no one had any escape to win the game. The game is pretty much unwinnable, and that was not really fair. And Kramer does not like unfairness. He wants people to play by the rules. Since Amanda broke the rules, this third movie is what happens. So they did give an explanation here, and that was fine. But the other four movies we got coming up, 4, 5, 6, and 7, maybe that's where these films start going off the deep end. Well, like 4, 5, 6, and 7, maybe not. The violence and gore doesn't bother me as long as it's not excessive. This movie was the violence excessive. The torture trap scenes, yeah. Like the woman being frozen in ice or the whole twister trap, yeah, I thought that was kind of excessive there. You know, but that was the fault was more on Jeff's part. So I covered that issue. But Saw 3, I thought it sucked at first, but I'm gonna say it's good. I'm gonna give it an 8. If you're a fan of the first two Saw movies, I think you'll like this one. If you don't mind gore and violence, I think you might like the Saw movies in general, but I don't know. Saw 3, give it an 8 out of 10. The movie was good. I'll be back with Saw number 4.